That's why I told you don't say cordial. That makes it sound like Ras Baraka shit. Yeah, but it's the truth. There's one citizen who has direct contact with Hamas, and through that, he facilitated the release of Eden Alexander. He's a pro-Trump Palestinian American businessman who arranged the White House-Hamas direct negotiations. Yes, exactly. The Trump administration is in direct contact with Hamas. What are we talking about? The idea that having a direct contact with Hamas or having direct contact with the Houthis or having direct contact with Hezbollah is not allowed in any way, shape, or form is, once again, an erosion of what previous considerations would immediately destroy as far as like a need for detention, okay? We've already dropped that ball completely. It is ridiculous. The fuck do you mean? Have you interviewed Hamas? I haven't, but I would like to in the future. What are you going to do? Fucking arrest me? What are you, crazy? That's insane. Like, that is actually insane, especially because as I mentioned this, like, Jeremy Scahill's interviews with the Ansar Allah movement played a formative role in the Trump administration coming to the table in Oman to cut a ceasefire arrangement with the Houthis. Okay? Direct contact with membership, with direct contact with like the Politburo of Hamas is an essential part of the Eden Alexander release that took place. Yeah, and at no point did I say I was treated well. Okay, I said the agent was cordial, but the experience overall was designed to create a chilling effect on speech. You were giving them time to make shit up through whatever reason they detained you with. I have mentioned this before, and I think that a lot of people don't understand this, but you absolutely are allowed right now under the First Amendment protections as a citizen or non-citizen to express support for Hamas. The idea that you cannot do that is ridiculous. You, in the United States of America, as long as you are on U.S. soil, are protected by the First Amendment. The idea that you cannot do that is new. That's new shit, okay? That is new shit. And even then, I personally was managing the risk in my mind and did not take it to that step when I was having a conversation with the ICE guy, okay, with the agent. I don't even know if he's ICE, he's Customs and Border Patrol, or potentially HSI. Like, a lot of people online just simply don't understand what the First Amendment looks like and what it's supposed to be used for. It's this. This is what it's supposed to be used for. It's a restriction on the government, okay? It's not a restriction on you. The First Amendment is not about private corporations refusing to ban you because you said slurs. It's this. This is literally what it's there for. This is the exact reason for why it exists, okay? It is not a restriction on the citizens. It is a restriction on the government from engaging in displays of power against the citizens. Even if our speech is about the support of designated terror groups and represent national security risks, this person responds to. He says, merely expressing support for a terrorist group is still protected speech. So yes, of course. You can say what you want in a free speech society. However, you are not free from the consequences when free speech threatens the basic rules of society. You certainly are free from government-imposed consequences, actually. That's the whole basis. You can't say you're not protected from the consequences. They're not doing a fucking cancellation Twitter post, dumbass. They're fucking trying to cancel your freedom. It is literally the basis for the First Amendment, and it's so crazy because these guys are so So stupid. What does that mean? The First Amendment prohibits the government from punishing or retaliating against constitutionally protected speech it doesn't like. If the government is imposing adverse consequences because of protected speech, that is unconstitutional. Okay, sir. Someone comes in front of your house and exercises free speech right to say, I will burn your house. You're good. No problem. No, sir, you are not. I love that this guy is literally trying to debate a fucking constitutional law, a person who specializes in First Amendment litigation, okay? He is a First Amendment and defamation lawyer. The fucking audacity. No, sir, you are not. No, why? Because that speech may have devastating consequences. So when a dude repeatedly and publicly states he supports a group calling for the death of America, there are consequences. If you cannot understand this, then you chose the wrong job. Except true threats are not protected speech. Saying I support Hamas is not a true threat. It is protected speech. So no, the government can't punish it, even if you think it has devastating consequences. Thanks for playing how to have no idea what you're talking about. If I were you, I might consider that someone whose job this is might know more about it than you. But then I'm not a moron. I liked your last sentence. You are correct in that this is not a crime. However, said type of speech will likely warrant an investigation and questioning. Speech is used as a probable cause or an escalating factor for a motive in crime. Example, if you beat someone up at the bar, this is battery and assault. If you beat someone up at the bar while yelling racial slurs at him, the rhyme is elevated to a hate crime. Your words are used as evidence to understand the motive. Hasan publicly supports terrorists. They may just be words, but those words beg the question. Is he sending them money? A crime. Is he helping them organize? A crime. That's not what question begging is. If you beat someone up, you already have committed a crime. What are you even trying to say? Cops can't just detain anyone they want because they said words of general support for someone else who committed a crime. Like, it is kind of crazy that this, once again, goes along with the incredibly the incredibly dumb thing that happens online all the time, where it's like American exceptionalism, American individualism, and just like Dunning-Kruger causes people to just go, no, actually, you, the fucking expert dedicating his life to this, is actually wrong. I, random guy who doesn't like what this person is saying, will now sit here and act as though the First Amendment doesn't protect speech that I don't personally like. That's not how this works. This is also precisely the reason why, while I have maintained the position that, Nazis, neo-Nazis in particular, that fucking violate all or take advantage of like the liberal notions of wanting to have normal discourse, getting at least like some kind of blackballing or blacklisting, have always maintained the position that the government should protect their speech regardless. Like, there is a limit to it, right? There are penalties that can be incurred through private modes of communication, but at the end of the day, I still understand that outside of circumstances where they are in the act of engaging in a hate crime, that yes, the fucking government should not be arresting people on the basis of speech. The reason why I've also always maintained this position is because I'm fucking Turkish. I'm from a country where there is no free speech. And part of that reason is why I can't even go back to my own fucking country. Okay? So yes, of course, I am frustrated to see my other country, the United States of America, the country that I was born in, Turkifying at a fucking alarming rate. You were born in the U.S.? Yes. This conversation was even better. Platforming terrorist propaganda isn't protected speech. You are certainly no constitutional scholar. I'll say that much. You don't need to be a constitutional scholar to know that inciting support for a designated terrorist group crosses legal lines. But hey, keep defending the influencer industrial complex if that's your hill to die on. You don't have to be anything to know things that are completely wrong. I would imagine that's one of the principal benefits of being a moron. Imagine thinking the Constitution protects influencer cosplay while they regurgitate talking points from foreign terror orgs. You are not defending free speech. It does. Like, even if you think that that's what I'm doing, it literally does protect that. It precisely protects that. I don't... this is one of those things that is incredibly frustrating to me. And it's kind of funny seeing others who are now having to deal with what I have to deal with on a fucking daily basis. What I have to deal with on a daily basis is exactly this. The dumbest people alive that are heavily opinionated without like a true understanding of constitutional law, operating on their own fucking personal feelings and assuming that the federal government and the way that things work is supposed to be at the mercy of your own individual perspective. Okay? And the reason why I'm talking about this is because every single dumb fuck First Amendment defender, every single dumb fuck free speech guy on the YouTuber orbit has basically unified in taking exactly the same positions that you're hearing with these fucking blue check marks going after a fucking First Amendment lawyer. Imagine thinking the Constitution protects influencer cosplay. No, imagination necessary. That's exactly what it does. Curious that you say the words regurgitating talking points and then you're not defending speech. What exactly do you think speech is? Speech ends where material support for terrorism begins. The Constitution isn't a suicide pact, no matter how badly TikTok lawyers want it to be. You spelled speech wrong, by the way. You're using words you read on the internet, but you don't understand again. If I'm misusing terms, you should be able to explain why without using sarcasm and smug filter. But you haven't, because deep down, even you know there's a line between opinion and laundering narratives for designated terror groups. You just don't care where it is. Why would I do that? You're immovably convinced that you're right without the slightest clue of what you're talking about. I'm not wasting my time on that. I'd rather do something fun like this. So instead of explaining your position like a lawyer, you're lobbing playground insults and dodging substance. If you want me to act like a lawyer for you, there's a fee arrangement that comes with it. This is an office, not a courtroom. This is the internet. If you hadn't come in hot, then consistently insisted you were correct, maybe I'd feel it was worth my time. You're bad.